twalirira sana ananomba na chivelela mwende wino mwebaya mwende wino mwebasuma mulale muchibote bane ifwa ila kalipa mwende wino mwebaya mwende wino mwebasuma mutushe muchibote bane ifwa tayibelela nanako kubushe bukeni bushe twalalie shilelo elo konse kulitondolo shuwa mwana kila kumshiri.
Greetings. Let's get started. So today I just want to talk about I saw some videos online that I want to share regarding the empty grave. Yes, so I want to share some videos regarding the empty grave. I also want to talk about the BILL7. So we have all seen what has happened to the BILL7, and I want to read an interesting article for record purposes. Aki Mulishani, Waturia Mulishani, good to see everybody. Vaprun. I'll open the panel soon on TikTok, so if you want to discuss, you can join us on TikTok. Otherwise, three main topics today. BILL7, the open grave, and also Zambia's economy is expected to grow by 6% in 2025, according to Bloomberg. I'll start with that. The expected growth of Zambia's economy. Bloomberg said Zambia's economy is expected to grow, but my question is, how can the economy grow when we are facing blackouts, when we are not collecting mining taxes? Is it a joke or is this mockery to tell the Zambians that we are going to grow the economy by 6%? We are being load shedded for over 20 hours a day. We are not producing anything meaningful. We are not collecting taxes to run the economy. Businesses are shutting down. No jobs due to the load shedding, and food prices keep rising while salaries are minimal, and we have an unstable currency. So where is this 6% growth going to come from? On paper, yes. On paper, we might see that 6% growth, but certainly not in the lives of the Zambian citizens. Growth should mean more jobs, lower prices, better services. Instead, we are in dark, literally and economically. Zambia needs real solutions, not inflated figures. Let's fix our energy crisis, support local production, and collect fair taxes. Then we can talk about true economic growth. So this thing of saying the economy will grow by 6%, I don't know how that's going to happen, looking at the reality of the matter. So that's my take. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the BILL7. Before I talk about the empty grave will be last. So the BILL7, we have seen news articles from Changwa. Mr. Changwa says HH has breached the constitution. He has lost the right to seek second term, says Sangwa. So Mr. Sagwa says HH has breached the constitution and has lost the right to seek a second term. So that is breaking news. And there's an article which I will read which says Hichilema in serious constitutional breach. That was the Concord. So the Concord has ruled that Hichilema is in serious constitutional breach. And I'll just read the article. What will be done against constitutional delinquent? So our president is actually facing to resign or to be impeached. So our president is actually facing three things. He has to resign, be impeached, or he will not qualify. If he is not impeached or resign, then he does not qualify to be on the ballot in 2026 for a second term. So these are serious repercussions of this, what he tried to do with the Constitution. I'll read the article, and the article reads, the Constitutional Court ruling on June 27 and June 25 declared the state process for advancing Bill 7 unconstitutional due to violations of multiple clauses in Zambia's institution. The majority judgment emphasized that the government's failure to conduct wide consultations breached foundational constitution principles. Below is an analysis of specific articles that are cited and their implications. Articles breached and their significance. Articles breached and their significance. So they breached Article 1, sovereignty of the people. Article 1 guarantees that the power resides within the Zambian citizens. The court ruled that bypassing public consultation and undermined this sovereignty. That is Article 1. Article 2 says the Constitution is supreme, establishes that the Constitution as the supreme law, the state unilateral initiation of amendments without consensus violated this principle. Article 5, national values and principles. Article 6, Article 5 to 9. So under Article 5 to 9, national value and principles. Article 5 says democracy and participation requires governance through democratic processes. Article 7, good governance, mandates transparency and inclusivity. Article 9, human rights and rule of law. The rushed processes disregard these values as consultations are essential for legitimacy. Article 61, citizens of duties, implicitly obligates the state to facilitate civic participation. The lack of consultations denied citizens their right to engage in governance. Article 90 to 92, constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment processes. Article 90, amendment procedure requires broad-based consensus. Article 91 and 92, referendum provisions. Though not directly invoked, the spirit of these articles emphasizes a popular input. The court found the state approach contravened this framework. The reasoning of the court. The judgment stressed that the consultation must occur before initiating amendments, not as an afterthought. Even non-contentious changes require public legitimacy. The state failed to prove consultations met consultation standards, rendering the process illegitimate. Yes, so rendering the process illegitimate. Sorry, I lost my screen. I'm bringing it back up. But basically, everything the Constitutional Court, what they said is what we were telling them. And we think, I know it's Honorable Munia Zulu, before he went to court, they took this case to the Constitutional court. So we give credit to our honorable men, Amunia Zulu, and I forget the other gentleman who worked to present this before the courts to stop the constitutional amendments in its tracks. Also, democratic safeguard, the ruling reinforced that the constitutionalism depends on honoring participatory principles, not technical compliance alone. Context and outcome. The decision came 24 hours after President Hichilema deferred Bill 7 for consultations, acknowledging public backlash. The court majority, 4 judges, prioritized substantive democracy over procedural expediency, while the minority favored a stricter interpretation of Article 79. The ruling sets a precedent. Future amendments must demonstrably involve wide consultation to avoid nullification. The judgment affirms that constitutional amendments must embody the people's will, not executive discretion. By avoiding the process, the court upheld Zambia's fundamental commitment to participatory governance, Concord ordering government to seek broader and wider consultation. So the judges were majority judges, President Professor Mulela Margaret Munalula, Justice Honorable Martin Musaluke, Justice Matthew Kasonde Chisunka, Justice Honorable Julu Zulu Mulongoti, and the minority were Justice Arnold Mwetwa Shilimi, Justice Musford Zakaria Mwendanga, and Justice Kenneth Mulife. So this is the news, guys. So the constitution amendments, they are down. Actually, the president, looking at the reading, the decision, the ruling of the court, the president should have withdrawn this bill. We told them from the beginning, it is going nowhere. And a lot of clauses, they were hidden. There was a lot of poison pills which was going to create Zambia into a dictatorship. We warned, myself personally, I warned Madam Kasune, Honorable Kasune, I warned her to say, are you a minister of justice or minister of injustice? Let us not be used. Just because you were appointed to a position, you are supposed to have advised the president. Madam Kasune, you should have advised the president to avoid this embarrassment. Now, the president is advising Madam Kasune to drop this bill when Madam Kasune should not have taken on this assignment first. She should have advised the president against this Bill 7. And we saw the president coming to say, all the other presidents, they passed amendments. I don't know why I'm the only one. The amendments are being rejected. He also said that people hate him. People don't hate you. They hate what you are trying to do, President Hakainde Hichilema. We don't hate you. But people will not agree with you just because you are the president. People will not agree with you just because you say so. So we are a democratic country, as we say, and I thank the judges for upholding this. Yes, I was almost giving up on the judges, but the judges have shown us by ruling against this Bill 7. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges on the panel. We thank you for ruling against this Bill 7. Let us remain a country of justice. Let us rule with justice without fear or favor. So thank you so much. So that is that on the Bill 7. We don't hate the president. The president, Zambia, we love each other. We love each other. No one hates you because of your tribe. No, that is fake. And I think that is a tribal comment coming from the president to be saying that he is hated because of his tribe. That is peddling tribalism or hate speech. So, Mr. President, sir, I don't ever want to hear you say again, people hate you because of your tribe. Even me, I am Tonga, you are Ila. I interact with everybody. We have mature conversations. and our conversations are based on truth and actuality. People talk to me because of the topic at hand. People don't disagree with me because of my tribe. I am a half Tonga, and the president is not Tonga, he's Ila, but I think it is wrong for the president to say he is the only president who was not allowed to make a constitution amendment. Actually, you did a constitution amendment, the cyber law, you did that. And even though you signed it secretly, you know, that's why people are not honoring the cyber law, because it was signed secretly by night, and had it not been for the US ambassador, we would not have known that a cyber bill was signed. So, Mr. President, sir, we don't hate you because of your tribe. We just hate what you're trying to do. Yes, so you came online, by President, at a certain rally and said that the youths had agreed to amend the constitution. So which youths agreed to amend the constitution? Which youths? Because me, I'm always online here. I didn't see anyone, I didn't see a group of youths come to say, you have agreed to amend the constitution. You said it yourself, and after you said it, we saw Kasune going around the country. You know, we saw chiefs parading in certain parts of the country. I'm like, how the hell do chiefs approve these amendments? Do they even know what is in the amendments? It took me 1 week when that bill was released in public. It took me 1 week to review that bill myself, you know. It took me 1 week to review the bill and understand what they were trying to amend. Now these chiefs, they just sat in a meeting for a few hours with Kasune, chiefs all over the country. Kasune traveled around the country, and how much money has she wasted over this thing? Mulete kanya, mwamfwa. You know, you people who are appointed by the president, it is your duty to advise the president. Don't just do anything because the president has told you so. You'll be embarrassing the president at the end of it all. Because you are not doing your job. Eh? We need men and women of honor and integrity to tell the president the truth, to say, Mr. President, sir, this thing you are trying to do, it won't work because of A, B, C, D. We will not be here. Now look at what Kasune did. Kasune traveled the whole country, wasting taxpayers' resources, when they knew that they were trying to push their way. They were trying to push their way. But because we said no here, the pressure came from social media. All the lawyers were quiet, but thank God the lawyers jumped on. All the lawyers were quiet about this bill 7. Until the pressure mounted and mounted from social media. That's when we saw Munia Zulu over there. Before he got taken in, he did something. And the judges, we thank you, the judges, for ruling in favor, for throwing this thing out, because Zambia is not a Zambia is a democracy. We thank the opposition too for standing up. The Tonsi Alliance, this is what we are supposed to do. All the civil rights organizations, we thank them too. Zambia, this is how we can grow and make Zambia better if we all stand together. Let our yes be yes. Let us not be compromised. Let our yes be yes, and let our no be no. So we thank you, everyone, all the players, the stakeholders, Tonsi Alliance, civil rights organizations, you know, the women also over there. We saw the women in opposition. They said something, the churches, the Catholic bishops, everybody. This is how we are supposed to work. And I think this should be a lesson to the president, because now he should know that he doesn't have to take a court to say no. Let him just do the right thing, is my advice to the president. Like, you have advisors. Before you start on doing on something, take advice from your professionals around you. Because this is really embarrassing. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. You know, you have wasted so much money. But the president wanted to bulldoze this Bill 7. I'm sure if he didn't consult, if he consulted his advisors, he ignored the advice. The president ignored the advice of his advisors not to go ahead with this bill. That's why he sent Kasune around. But now, well, look at where we are. How much money have we wasted? So I'll be opening the panel really soon. And the last topic that I see you are Robam there, I see you are Blaze and everybody. I'll be opening the panel on TikTok. But before I do that, I want to talk about the funeral that we have in the country. We know that the First Lady was ambushed, which is really unfortunate again. You know, the very, very unfortunate situation. We saw the First Lady, former First Lady, Madam Esther Lungu, as she was getting ready to go and bury her husband. She was ambushed with a lawsuit to prevent her from going to burying her husband, our former 60th Republican president. So instead of the widow going to bury her husband, she found herself in a courtroom with a case that we don't know how long it's gonna go. Right now, the remains of our president are sitting in a morgue, awaiting this court case which has started. Myself, I can just say this is a very unfortunate situation to find ourselves. You know, first of all, I think it is just pure evil and cruelty to subject a family to this. A widow and the children, the orphans. I mean, the timing couldn't be more like spiteful. Like they couldn't do it a day before. You know, the president canceled the funeral and he said, we have stopped mourning. And the next day, he calls his lawyers and they calls the attorney general and they put this case to wait. Ambush na lawsuit. Mwebena Zambia, miti mayashani. The attorney general. And the attorney general is saying this is in national interest. How can torturing a widow be in national interest? When we are told in the Bible, in Exodus 22 to 24, how to treat widows. Widow aledila, nalu somulume. From there you are adding salt pachilonda. You are putting salt on the wound. This family is grieving. You are dragging them to court for God knows what. And you are calling it in national interest. What national interest is it? How many Zambians were consulted? The Attorney General, how many Zambians did you consult? How many Zambians did you consult to sue? Did Zambians agree that chiteni fofinero mkalolele padaba esta balefu mamunganda ero mkaba pere Simon ama Zambia ntiba sumi ni shefi aso mwebantu bakwalesa? Anyway, we have seen the reaction for the family and they have said that it's okay. They are ready to take this on so that the truth can be exposed. And the other thing which I need to talk about is, you know, the Attorney General said his benefits were reinstated after he died. I'm like, can we be serious? Can you reinstate benefits ya Chitumbi? What is the point of reinstating benefits when someone needed those benefits? You were not there. Actually, people are saying this, that you know, there was a suggestion. Is actually a draft. Like, you know, the thing to take away benefits from a president is not a law. Is a draft bill. It's not been passed into law. So I don't know. We need to investigate this. But someone told me that this is actually a draft bill to take away the benefits of a sitting president. It is a draft bill. Is not yet law. So the person was saying that for them to take away these benefits, it is actually illegal because there is no law which says that. So we need to find out and investigate. And if there is no law which is saying that the benefits must be taken away, then this government need to pay the Lungu family all the expenses that Lungu incurred because of taking away the benefits from Lungu illegally. So this is Mwema lawyers. If you are here, if you know a lawyer, let them investigate on this. Let us have proof. What article in the Constitution actually bans a sitting president from receiving benefits if he goes into politics? We need that article. Yes. And why we are here is because, one of the reasons we are here is because Lungu was betrayed in life. That's why I say that let us not betray Lungu in death. Let us do due diligence and establish which article in the Constitution bans a president from receiving the benefits, because I hear that this is a draft bill and it wasn't actually signed into law. So we need to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get to the bottom of this and make sure that there is a law that banned Lungu from getting his benefits. And if there is no law, we should make sure that these benefits are actually paid to his widow and his family, his children specifically. So this is the situation, guys. This is where we are. Let us not betray Lungu in death. Let us make sure Lungu's widow is treated right. Let us stand by the grieving family. You know, the Attorney General cannot say we want Lungu to be buried in Zambia in national interest when the remains of a human being belong to the family. So the family decide where they are comfortable laying to rest their loved one. So if we are questioning our national interest because we are not involved in requiring that, then whose personal interest is it that ECL should be buried in Zambia? Because as far as we are concerned, the personal interest belongs to the family, and the family at this point, they are saying, bury ECL in South Africa until when we have a right atmosphere in Zambia to bring his remains home. So I think that's all I had to say on that. And now what I want to talk about is the open tomb. So we know Zambia, we are a traditional culture. We have our customs and traditions as a country. You know that we are a Christian country, but Christianity came to Zambia in the 1800s when the missionaries came to settle. So before that, we practice our cultures and traditions. Even now, when somebody dies, there are some cultures, traditions, and customs that are practiced. So I want to play a few tapes, what people have to say about the open grave, because now there is an issue of two open graves waiting for His Excellency, the late Dr. Edgar Lungu. One grave was dug in Lusaka without consultation of the family. They dug that grave, it is ready. And then another grave was dug in South Africa. Until the day they were supposed to bury ECL, they received a court order to go to court and stop the burial. So we have two graves. We have two graves that are waiting for ECL. But the thing which is troubling is that these graves, they are not dug in an ordinary cemetery. I think the South African one, it's an ordinary cemetery, but the one that is dug in Zambia is specifically dug for presidents, so for former presidents. And this is the harsh reality of the matter now. The grave that has been dug, that was dug in Lusaka without the consultation of the family, is at Embassy Park. And traditionally, when someone dies and you're going to bury, we dig a grave the same day. So it's not our culture to dig a grave and then keep the grave open and waiting. It's not our culture for people who are not family. to pick a grave site and oversee the digging of the grave without the family. So everything that has happened around the grave in the embassy park there is questionable because the family was not there. That's number one. Family was not there, was not consulted. And then, you know, all the things that happened to now the family deciding to bury in South Africa. So we have an open grave there. We have an open grave. So I'll just play some tapes about what people are saying about the open grave. And then we can comment. And then I'll open the panel. Sorry. Just trying to connect to the Bluetooth. Hello? Hey, Manishan. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm on live. Can I call you? Oh, all right. Okay, so I'm trying to play the...
As the people, a president who governs contrary to the constitutional requirement to president who governs contrary to the constitutional requirement to act in people's interest and uses power to entrench advantage forfeits the moral and democratic legitimacy to seek another mandate. He has lost the right to ask the people for a second term. Likewise, any member of parliament who votes in favor of this bill cannot claim to represent the people. They will have proven themselves to be defenders of power, not protectors of the people. They will have voted against the will of the electorate, against constitutional clarity, and against Zambia's democratic aspirations. Such leaders do not deserve to return to the National Assembly. Let the people of Zambia take note. Let communities across the country remember that the Constitution was under threat and who stood on which side. Let this moment mark a new standard of democratic accountability. Those who break trust with the Constitution must be denied the power to speak in its name. Let the ballot in the general election of 2026 become a national tribunal, a democratic reckoning, a referendum not just on Bill 7, but on the values we choose to uphold.
So that is Honorable John Sangwa there. I'll play it again.
The president who governs contrary to the constitutional requirement to act in people's interest and uses power to entrench advantage forfeits the moral and democratic legitimacy to seek another mandate. He has lost the right to ask the people for a second term. Likewise, any member of parliament who votes in favor of this bill cannot claim to represent the people. They will have proven themselves to be defenders of power, not protectors of the people. They will have voted against the will of the electorate, against constitutional clarity, and against Zambia's democratic aspirations. Such leaders do not deserve to return to the National Assembly. Let the people of Zambia take note. Let communities across the country remember that the Constitution was under threat and who stood on which side. Let this moment mark a new standard of democratic accountability. Those who break trust with the Constitution must be denied the power to speak in its name. Let the ballot in the general election of 2026 become a national tribunal, a democratic reckoning, a referendum not just on Bill 7, but on the values we choose to uphold.
Thank you, thank you. I see you. Welcome everybody. We have Honorable J Banda there. I'll bring you on in the audience if you're still there. But we are here and we are so happy. We are happy to have men of honor start to speak. And
in African traditions and religion, and by the way, it's one of the studies in theology. In African traditions and religions, an open grave is dangerous. Spiritually, let me read you Psalm 89, verse 48.
In the Bible? I shouldn't have brought up this question.
Graves have power. According to scripture, who can live and not see death? Or who can escape the power of the grave? There is something about a grave. So that in Job, it says there are people who make covenant with the grave. It means they agree with the grave to release death. So it is not good for a nation to keep an open grave. And if there be another in South Africa, that's double. We have, as a church, a deep responsibility to ask God to intervene in this particular matter. There is a spiritual implication.
What are the implications, Bishop, for us to keep an open grave at Embassy Park?
In Songs of Solomon 8, it talks about love being as powerful as a grave. So the grave would be calling for...
Calling who?
Look at you pushing me.
No, I want to run away. Half of me doesn't want you to answer, but half of me wants to hear.
You are releasing a spirit of death.
We are releasing a spirit of death.
Yes, over a nation.
Over a nation?
Yes. And it would be physical death. It would be spiritual death. It could be economical death. It would be relationships and things like that. You give power to Satan to bring an accusation for the whole nation. Because number one, of our divide, but number two, an open grave. And say they dug the grave. So it is a spiritual, deep matter. It's very deep. It's not something light. Somebody can even laugh at it. But spiritually, you're speaking an open grave, which satanic, demonic, and occultic powers and people will be able to use.
so this thing about the open grave.
Hallelujah. Amen. I need to pray for Zambia. Do you know what it is for the former president to be buried out of the country? And to leave an open grave. That grave will be now calling for the one who is on the chair. Yes. Some things must not be started in this country. Some things must not be started in this country. You cannot leave an open grave in the executive area for presidency. That means the one that is on the chair now will die. That's why that grave must carry Edgar. It must carry you, not South Africa. Now, I saw these problems already, that they are going to be a problem if that man dies. But here's the issue. Here's the advice. This is what the president is supposed to do. The president of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, he must do what the family have said. If they don't want him to go for a funeral or to talk on the funeral, let him keep quiet. That's just a funeral. Let the funeral bury him. After they bury, the peace continues in this country. It is better for him not to speak on the funeral than to leave Zambia with an open grave. Than to leave this country with an open grave. Do you know how in this country where there is altars, you leave a grave grave of someone from Protua. So if no one will be buried inside there, something will happen. So as my president, you have gone to South Africa. Don't use the government of South Africa. Don't use them. Go to this family as a brother. Go to this family as a Zambian and say to them, I know I had problems with my brother who has gone to the Lord. But since you people, you say, I must not talk, I will not talk. Let us carry the body to our house, to our country, to our land. You will not die, sir. Please, I beg you, you will not die. It's just it's just talking. It's just talking. Other presidents will come and talk on your behalf. It's okay, sir. You will carry your flowers, put on the grave, sir, and go back to your house and continue with the duties of the country. We don't want to be in Zambia knowing in our mind that our former president was buried in another country. It's not good. And that grave that is open must carry the honor. It must carry the honor. There is no grave for Lungu in South Africa. President Lungu must be buried here. If you people, you are wise, you will do what I said. I said it before in February that this problem is coming. Let it be solved nicely before we provoke other problems. God bless you.
Go ahead, Warobam. Yeah, cause I'm Zambia number.
I don't even know where to start from. I think you know what. Let me give my older brother, Mr. KCK, to start on this one, and I know why I want him to start. Brother, are you okay to open on this one?
Yes, sir. Brother Robert.
Yes, sir.
Sina following channel. Nezovera radio zonpanga phone ezeriko na echo.
Okay, so here our president was talking about the open grave situation that's happened in Zambia, because we've got two graves. There's one grave in South Africa and the one grave in Zambia. And then she was just making us listen to some of the contributions from people of wisdom, what it means when you have an open grave.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you can pull me. This is so deep, you know.
It's deep. It's deep. We shouldn't have come to this, you know.
Let me just say something. I think as I was listening, I was just checking, and it says in many African traditions, not closing a grave can be interpreted as a sign of unfinished business.
Of course.
And then the other one says a case, but or a sign that the spirit is not at peace. And it says that the other one is a symbol of political transition not being accepted or completed. Wow. So this is deep stuff. That's why you see people panicking when they took that thing to court at the last minute. You could see that probably people have spoken to someone, and the pressure now is like it's either you do this or this happens. So wow, I think Wasoko, you can come in. I need to have this sink in first. Okay.
Okay, I can just come in, Wasoko, if you're not ready. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Watu wa mkwalesa, watu wa mulungu. Ndiye timagamba tabu. Mfumu sama ikumbira manda yabiri. Kuli chintu chikulu chamene chifaniko, chamene chizachitika. Vobisamika vizaululika. Neni kululika kwakaena ni kwamene ukaambika uko. Confusion, we start create confusion. Ndiyo kwa watu wamagamba kuzipalira muliro pa kwendo. Ngati wanawasiya waja wantu. Wa familia. Wa staff onse fanifani kochitika. monga negomvera brother JJ mairezo kamba wezofanika kuita consult ma chiefs vaja vakuja vaenda kuti ichi chintu chanikulira nzachita bwanji ngati vana vatandizira noma ngati unkhala zeru nzanga ndiye vene vimachitika nevimachitika so inankhala ni era manje noma nanga grave ya dia ku South Africa zaita bwanji
ni problem part ku South Africa na kwena they can't leave an open grave there. South Africa they dug it mwamona
so yavi baman South Africa
now when about South Africa they won't want to bury one of their former presidents there, no. So now the South Africans will make sure they bury Lungu there. Because Wakatenga Mubiri, it means someone in South Africa will have to be buried in that grave they dug, Uria.
That grave, yes.
That's what we are saying to say.
Abata finish chakosa.
Na mwishiba ama situation aya so ya chitika atishani atumwana shumfwa. When people are telling you to do this, chitefi wa ulefa yefyobe. Mwamona. Bali beba chiteni fi basumina familia lisumine bwino. Itwalaisa mkushika. Bambo kupange fyabo nomba fyapena mwamona. Nafi pena because in if done that nafi pena. Ukuya bapela Simon uluchero. Ba eche chingabani ni nefyende ke baya kuri ba Esther uluchi ba fukama. Yes. Instead of that emotional pressure ba kwete, instead of have the president having emotional pressure and cancelling the funeral, he should have gone to Mama Esther and plead. But it's an emotional press conference from there abantu nabasamba tule mkushika abalume abantu nabenda all the way from the that was a funeral. Not only Zambians traveled kwalifumini abantu from all over the world kuya kulia mkushika abalume baya pase chiriro kulia abantu nabenda from all over the world. So nomba oke na ngubo mlafa ya tumuntu anaka umutima the lung na abantu fye nomba balelanda fyati awo abantu nomba balekani na balungu, you know.
Chiriro chimankana wantu babiri malira mankana wantu babiri wanu oronkale usenza mboma unkale president unkale vice president unkale minister but una family kana unachokera ndiyo mena mafunza uyu muntu amwalira kwao mwambo fanika kukalapo nomaba kati na losing a direction kaucha tinaleka kuikonga and addition
we are using bitterness kubalebo mfya bitterness eo balebo mfyo kutungulule chalo. How did we get to a point where there are two graves? They would have just let Edgar be buried to South Africa and then trying to make peace with the family.
Number kairo wali report chiri indishira chala sala opening.
Chale opening na balanda kale. That's why one body breaking in time.
Somebody has to go in there.
Bali breaking in Tambi. If our culture imanda bemba same day. Elopa kuimbe manda pafuyo kuwa bururu mwaimbe manda uluchelo mwashika same day. Nomba bena badia ba umfuire fyatu umuntu nafwa no landa na balupa bambo kuimbe manda. Kuchibaka that's why if into feel pena because things are not right. When you do things, when you start off the wrong foot, it's a bad sign. Mwamba ichi chiroba chisendele by power. Mwamona ba mfafya to Edgar Lungu bafwa ba sende chiro kumaka yabo. batuma abantu kuliya ku South Africa kasendeni omubiri
Madam Pumi manda kumunzi mamene wamayimbira ngati mwaimba manda vantu samachoka pose kumanda anti kuyembekeza bodi yabwera
even mutauni nalishikapo barrio nangu mutauni fye twalishika bamayo kukabwe nangu kukitwe lwashike batata kutuma family na ma grave diggers aleikala kulya paka mwaisa na body bambo kuimba family opwadi na body mwaisa mwashika
Naikosa.
Nombe efi bachitire mwandini efi letira ma problems ayengi ifi akupase echiriro that ambushing ifi akubatulu chero baima baya mkupera samon kuri ba mkamfuirwa na mkamfuira nafuale umupango elo mkamfuira nafuale umupango elo mwamupera nani kadi mwamwe bachikabiye ni kuchechi kabiye ku court. Who does that mwe bantu bakwalesa?
And that's heartless, really. That hurts. You can imagine what Esther is going through. That man needs to sit down and be real and be human. You know, behind these politicians, there must be a heart and feelings and emotions. You know, who does that? Who does that? I feel so sorry for that family. That graveyard, Zambia. I'm not worried about. He dug it, so let him sort out himself. Because what I know, you do not dug a grave without consulting a family, and one of the members of the family has to be there. And even Langi's a material as if it's a show. You know, who shows the grave on TV?
Imagine they were inspecting the grave. UPND card, they were there in the grave inside. You know, but despite all that, the family agreed to say we are coming to bury in Zambia.
Naikosa. But the worst thing they would have done is to sue Mama Esther Lungu with the family. They would have waited for this family to bury Balungu. Then after that, they would have had, you know, whatever they wanted. But not, oh my God, that's I think that woman and her children has been traumatized for life. Yes, you are right.
So the Kenny for Finny for Chichike, definitely for Babemba to run at Umana, Ush control, one Ush, I didn't know because women to ufile wa ipusha abantu ushelo mbachibeshani ufe family tawiranda na ina tawalanda pona ina but we taking a fiamaka yobe pantu niwewo something wamkuchita fyo kalili hapa penepo baishika opo bakamushika kwa bloku kuipusha. So if you in my mistake you fiance badi kasa fiance kukasa fiance ba kasa fiance kukasa fiance badi kasa. So they came mfwebe na Zambia tusambile po chintu chimu imfwa aba ediga na itusambilisha po fintu ifingi mu life if you want to feel ukikala na abantu if you want to feel waba so yaine manda ba imbire yechira chimanda ba imba chire chikulu chiri watu limbira omunobi omufulu yo abo bene bakayayikira abayire nabali checking. And if you buy a ship, you have to because now South Africa take about your quavatio, Imanda to an eye shaf if you feel. Let of food, Bayana Mokodic, and Bam. Put on to fish as a station forgive like that. It's not nice. So let them, they should learn a lesson. They can basandi the poaching. Whoever stubborn, tai womba. You don't know womba nefin to net fukushina anga. Tafimona, tafi womba if you. So but they can basandi the poaching. So that next time they should know how to do things. The problem is bafo yokuchita compete. Vyafine bale mona na bena babele at oh abanyaba bali kwata competition ine bale kumbo fyonse vyafyale chitika kuliba etika bale basaliuti bafyonse bale ku. So if mune mona bale kwa na bena bale imini makali ko basaliuti apali na bena baba saliuti ate papa nane basaliuti. So inefo ningalanda kofe mwanti na chivipa bantu amanda futi baimba ya shibiri kuinga nganda shibiri na chivipe chi techa na kwena ku South Africa tabalanda tomba twala shika munani bala shika munani already South Africa ko ndio so baga chitasha so au aba lufyenye ebala ingira muri ya ku South Africa twala bika batata. Ero na futi inefye mwanti nokulanda fe church nopo ine I'm still supporting by East okulala ku South Africa because kulala ku Zambia no they'll come and mock his body,
and that's what they want to do. All they want
this is what they want to do. They want to celebrate, they want to do anything. Ero bakuti bali hapo no kushukubanku mkushana tatulefwai ya msansa poefin tupali tatulefwai bantu abantu bali ba craft kuti bali bosha omuntu wa pageti pali bamuwoshi wangu ati no kwatingire. So confusion ya tabalani fe kuya kwini mko abe ya mzambia bala shwe ya kuchitama mkali bali fulamani bali kwa chama so bala shwe ya kuchita mwana ikala lilianya if you are being babalanda to one ekala lilianya lilia mwana ya lekala so they can choose for feed
That's spicy. We are ready to comment. We are here, guys. Pa Facebook, we are just talking about the two graves, you know. We are in an unfortunate situation where we have found that ECL has two graves, and there are all these customs, traditions, beliefs, religious and traditional beliefs surrounding having two graves. And we are here because I am blaming the government because that they honored that agreement that there was made in Pretoria on June 14th. That Sunday we would not be here. We are here because the government decided to use their power. If we in power, so to allow for today fire. And now we know that to somebody. You know what? I think the government, I don't know why they did this because bali shibokwebati family ya kwata makapa mubiri tetumuye mkusendo mubiri wa bene ngabali shibeli yali nefe baba Kenya okusendo mubiri ku South Africa ngabali ikerefi, you know, when they were refused from getting the body in South Africa. That should have been the lesson to say, we need to work with the family. But they are pushing to sideline the family. Mwamona, this is the reason why we are here, because this government is pushing to sideline the family. When ECL died, within, I think, 48 hours, a first contingent of Zambian government went there, Baba Kanina. Then waisa tuma mulambe haimbe na ye nakudia afirwa. Ero baisa tuma kwati, the next was Kavindele and somebody else. Kavindele and who was the next person? And Kavindele and somebody bafirwa. And then in number quite shideva meeting idia.
Kavindele na badiaba nani kanyati wakangwa.
Kavindele and somebody else.
Bakangwa.
Bafirwa, ero nomba baisquaisa abanomba that international meeting where they had South Africa and all the dignitaries there. Tatwa talare. That's why tulipano kulanda pakusule lande fishinka. We won't shut up. You won't shut us up. imwewe nikabiye nikuma page yena yoko kwini na tayari tuwali live nankwe Mairo. We were live with Tayali and we told him pages like yes on Blaze's page na lisa panelo baisanja ba milenga tieni kutayali alipali Blaze. So was it what? Yes.
He can play my mind Zambian. You remember he used to say, "Oh, I misled you in 2021. I knew that Hakainde Hichilema played with numbers, but I wanted Lungu to lose, so I misled you." Remember? He was
and then yesterday he was saying he was preaching peace. Tayali yesterday, no, we want peace. So we were like, Tayali, you never brokered peace when Edgar Lungu was alive. Now you are there yourself. I told him, I'm like, your page, Causeway, and many other pages are saying all these crazy, hateful things to this family. And then when we hear from the government, the Bahaka Indo, we want peace. But pages which are connected, Kuri Bahaka Inde, you are creating all this hateful thing.
That is it. That
how can we run a country where the government, the Bahaka Inde, is saying we want peace, but the pages that are supporting him, they are sending insults every day. Makebi Zulu being threatened, Tasila Zulu, this is a stubborn, all the ugly and nasty things you are saying about the Lungu family from pages that are connected to State House. But when the president is talking, he says we want peace. So why can't the president come in the open and tell pages like Koswe and whatever to preach peace? Why can't the president put his foot down and ask these pages to preach peace? Because it's hypocrisy of the highest order. Where you are telling the country we want peace, but the pages connected to you, the president, are the ones in the forefront insulting, disrespecting the mourning family. And I say here every time, Zambia, we are not going anywhere unless we start condemning these hypocrites. We need to stand firm. Like we need men like Makebi Zulu. We need men like John Sangwa. We need men like Robert who are here. We need men like my young son Blaze. We need men like Munia Zulu who are going in jail for have been sentenced in jail for saying the truth. We need men like JJ Banda who refuse to compromise and in exile. I asked Tayali yesterday, and they the reason you are there in exile today, you are supporting HH. You are insulting a poor woman. I asked him yesterday, Tayali, why don't you use your page to broker peace? Speak love to that family. Mama Esther Lungu Tuapapata, work with the government. Imagine if the family is hearing such kind words from these pages like Koswe and Tayali. Imagine what we'll do. We won't be here if a love is coming from people like Tayali, who once benefited from Edgar Lungu. But because, you know, some people ni wamutashakari kuitobo.
Oh, yeah.
Ni wamutashakari kuitobo. Nangu muntu wali kuchitire into 1 million. Immediately you cross their path for one thing. That's it. You become an enemy. No, that is hypocrisy. In life, no one is perfect. Tule balancer. Nangu fia inepano. I know people, I done good things and sometimes I do bad things. But it's like you can't break a relationship when my goodness outweighs the bad things. So, like PF was really good to Tayali. I would say that the goodness of PF to Tayali outweighs the bad things. But Tayali decides to do what he's doing because of the few bad things. But then as human beings, even if, you know, when someone is dead, we bury the hatchet. So Tayali is being a hypocrite because Tayali is trying to tell the Lungu family to make peace with HH when he himself is fighting Edgar in the grave. He is fighting the Lungu family. So how is that peaceful? You are being a hypocrite, Tayali. You are supposed to mourn with the widow. How can you support men who have wives and their lives are intact? They are doing this for politics. But you have a person like Tahali beating down a widow who's mourning, and you are telling the widow to practice peace. When you are abusing a widow and the orphans, we need to condemn this with strong voices. I thank Vanelli Chikwanda. She said something. We need to hear more for women to start speaking against the spirit of hypocrisy. In this spirit of being quiet when someone is being abused. It is a bad spirit. We need to come against it in the name of Jesus. We can't allow a woman to be abused. We sit quiet. No. Stand up and say something against oppression, especially for a widow. And this is not an ordinary widow. She was a former first lady. So ega shiryo mwe bantu abali radio kulanda kufuna abaleta pa big screen bamule is it muleka
Mkwai.
The floor is yours.
Okay, awe it's sad. I never in the beginning I never supported Lungu at all in whatever I said and did. But I knew when they were doing my elections, I had issues. These things go further. And I don't think it does help. But again, Abantu must be respected at all costs. But when they make mistake, like I was listening to Sangwa, Sangwa to me seems to be the one who is sensible. If Sangwa could go in politics, I think it would make a greater leader. I think one are Zambia, two are exposed, and I talked to one of the friends who was Zambian of South Africa. You know, even though generally we want Balungu kwisa kuzambe kuwashika na maonas na shani, but first of all, back up. What was the relationship of what was going on? Remember Nawakwi. Two people have died, and one thing Tamulanda Pai Nawakwi. Remember Nawakwi? Nawakwi just died. Abroad. She was not asking maybe for Ndalama. She just wanted to go abroad. She was held in the house for a long time. And videos are there. She said it. Therefore, I feel no South Africa for treatment. She can't go police. The idea, to me, what I think, the idea in Zambia, and it's not even with one president, like Sanga was saying, this has been a problem for a long time. The setup ya Zambia, kutampa wakapokola, is wrong. Okay? The way we've set things up, we have to start breaking those things. We may attack one person or Walungu or HH or one of those things, but you can see systematically tatoka the system yalondoroka. Because you can't just be calling ama leaders yaba people before wamuita fet basangwa kaweni ku police for what? Why am I going there? Are there any courts? No, you have to report to police. Think about you if that was your uncle, or if it was you are Lungu. Back with the police. Why am I chipua? Imagine you are the boss here Zambia yonse. Back with me chipua. Kabi police wali basana ndalama. Whatever the problem might be, still a person has personal rights, human rights. Everyone who jumps in State House or have jumped out, as long as the president of Zambia, they've done that. So we must sober up and look at this problem as a system that we need to be fighting to change. You don't know. If you know, you look at the systems that they operate. In an example, I bought him has nothing to do with Balungu. I am looking at the system. Imyotoka Shaisa over 20. Shaisa from Nakonde, Okonafu. Shafika Pachinsadi, Bashiminika. Ati one of the video.
So Bamuleka, we are going off topic. We are here to talk about the funeral. I don't know how that is connected.
You're right, it's not off topic, but therefore Kulanda the system, why the systems that we have need to change.
So can you talk about the burial? Because the program here, we are talking about the BILL7. We are talking about the burial, the 2 graves that have been dug.
Right, but you can't stop me if I'm making a point. If I have an example of something else, if his farming makes an example, you can't say don't go for farming. I'm trying to bring a point why the systems Zambia got problems. That's the point I'm trying to draw.
So how is that the car thing connected to the Lungu burial?
No, it is not connected, but the system, and I'll tell you the system.
Okay.
That because system here so is broken down. It has really nothing to do with one thing. These things are coming up now. Fia balungu fia isa. Mumone balungu bali kwa family yao. Aba kashinga balanda tine, therefore aba bandoka bashike kuna konde or kukulapula or where. Really, in no sense, is there a law that says you can't? We have to bury him Kurusaka. Is there anything? Mama data proof system, the power system. It's not there.
Just to support you, my brother, I think one time I did mention this. In Zambia, the president has got too much powers.
Exactly.
And this, we need to look at it. For them to stop abusing people in future, we need to look at our system. Our system is not right. Why is it that in the state house, he's got so much power?
Exactly.
For instance, in the UK, Harry went and sued the journalist, and the judiciary saw that the boy was right and he won. So the system needs to be separate. The presidents have got the president in Zambia has got too much powers. Zambians need to look at our system. When this is sorted, abuse of individuals will stop. Because for you to be abused, you run to the courts, and if the courts are independent, if the president has got not so much power, he will not be able to abuse. Hichilema is able to do what he can now because he's got so much power as a president. That's what you are trying to say, my brother, isn't it?
Yes.
So you know, I disagree with you there. I disagree with the two of you, and let me tell you why I disagree. I disagree. In Zambia, we have laws, but there is abuse. We have laws, we have a system, but it's being abused. And if you hear me, I say, why can the people stand up to the president? Look at John Sangwa, the way he's talking. He is talking because of the Constitution. Everything is laid out in the Constitution, but people, they fear the president.
Madam Bumi, but I think they have a point, because even if you have laws, but if the judiciary, if the entire system is corrupted and it has one person that is able to control,
but who is corrupting that judiciary system is one person. So why can't we all Zambians stand up and say stop abusing the power, because the laws are there? But we as Zambians allow the president to abuse his power.
I'll answer you the reason. The reason is having an electorate that is very uneducated in terms of which they think. That's number one. Number two, umwenso. Remember Satala and Mweva Sambira Muriba Mwenso Sana. Remember what he said?
Yeah, so now you are coming to where I'm saying. So it's not that the laws. Like, I'll give you an example of these constitutional amendments. Remember, we spent 2 weeks talking about the constitutional amendments while the legal fraternity was quiet. I am not a lawyer, but just because I can read English, I spent almost 2 weeks to interpret that BILL7 and to come and to explain to everyone. Even the cyber law was the same, but the people who are educated, but that's why like Mamachka Monica says, where are the men of Zambia to condemn things when they're happening? Where are the men of Zambia to condemn abuse?
Can I answer that? The answer is still the same system, because I'll give a lot of questions. I think I was in Zambia in 2022, and what happened when I dealt with the police, and I'll tell you how they paralyze you. Imokuchimwa ya kuzambia fitulenda kunote mwe kuzambia mutambe kulalanda bala mwe cyber law mamona While under something, because we are away, in England, go America, we can say what we want. But in our target, they still target you.
Right.
The question is again, the system. If the system tells them you cannot go point a person like Barungu, Nangwanani, who bring them to police at any time.
But who is the system is the president. This is where I'm disagreeing with you. Now, if we had a man of honor, listen. To have a special system, is one person who is causing all this and it lies in the hands of the president. The president is controlling everything and anything in Zambia. Now, if we have our Mevanshindo kuzikta kuria, kutuanda that Mr. President, according to the Constitution, we can't be arresting people who are exercising their democratic right. And which brings me down to our Mevanshindo. Where are you meant to say, Mr. President, we can't do this? Because this is what's happening all around the world. You know, a system is there, but it's up to you to implement it.
You can't implement the system. Mamona, fear pusana. By executive mrera and dapo by legislature.
Monto fear umo ko executive go kuliba haka inde. E bata appoint executive, bata na appoint legislation afyoncho bachita appoint te. So what's stopping, like for example, the speaker to say, Mr. President, I can't do that. I am going to resign.
That's what we are saying.
No, it is on the people because the people agreed to that. Why can't all those people who are appointed to compromise say, we are resigning, we can't do this? They need to throw the state into a governance crisis.
Here's the thing. Mama, America. It's almost the same thing in a way. Say, give an example. I work with the HH and I am the governor, whatever. Ukito Kwisa. Therefore, because of HH. Mama, he appointed me. Are you telling me, out of your 5 senses, I'm going to stand there and say, hey, you know what? You are HH, now ufia sana.
Exactly. That's why Mama politics, kuno kufiaro, you don't go there if you are broke. But if you appoint broke people into politics, then you can tell me that. And as long as we never reach that place where we have people of integrity to challenge him.
Or we should choose HH because study broke.
No, it is the people, my dear. Me, I don't support you, and I will stand my word to say we need people, men of integrity, men and women of integrity who save Zambia.
But where are they?
Yes. Because of HH, can you go against HH? You can't. So
I think BILL7 is here. Platform. There's someone who said, you know, you always say, but somebody came to give us the information to say, advisor won't say because they have told him he doesn't listen. This is what I think there's a Talanda. My brother, you can talk what that man said.
Good evening, Madam President.
Good evening, my son. How are you? About me, Vanshindo. You know, let us call a spade a spade. We are not going to hide in the thing in Yaba because HH are information. No, it's not HH's money. HH is not paying you from his pocket. It is public fund. So we must reach a place where everyone step down and see if HH can run this government alone.
Well, the problem that has been found in this New Dawn administration, my mother, is that people, they are living with fear in their institutions, including all the advisors, like my Madam Lenga was saying. Mr. HH is doing things in his own capacity, such that Baletina Bantu Kubachita advice, because looking at where they are coming from, Balachita advised by President, but the President don't know. Ulo mundu is a Mr. Know-it-all. Don't feel like so what has happened is that you find that our advisors they have booked out. They have said, okay, they advise, but he doesn't listen. So they have just said, let the president do what he wants to do. So the big man is on his own. Really. Abantu tabale nabamfumamu. That's why you are seeing a lot of things are going wrong. Looking at the system itself, like my brother was putting it, like police and these other institutions, we understand they are we salute them and we are seeing what their greatness. But right about now, my mother, I can tell you, that's why the president had to sit there and say, why do you hate me? He's seeing what's happening. System for you, system you are a leader. They'll give you respect, just trying to preserve their institution. But inside them, they know whether to umuntu alieka. Na eno has realized that alieka. This is where we are, my mother. Otherwise, it's not something that we are going to even hide. The system now of Mamu Amdala is alone. Because if you talk about Chitapali Akeke Nakashtaka no Fiafula, Mr. HH is alone. He's a lonely man. So my advice as well, my mother, what I can say for now is that they have tried their best. It's going down slowly by slowly, and it has come out. I mean, it was going down slowly by slowly, and where we are heading, I can assure you more to come. Yes.
Before you finish now.
Yeah, we are honored to have Madam Lily in the.
Before you finish your president, president because he was voted from all 10 provinces. So what I was on inside Tivantu, Kulanza Manga to opposition zone. So Gatwagambati, Onani one is on inside indirect Kuzonda Bajavan. That's what come at one is on. Nangatwakuzonda Prechoka, Kuma provinces, you are 10.
Hello, it's a topic today
About the BILL7 and the 2 graves.
How are you, everybody on the platform?
We are fine, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, with this very disappointing because of the Kuchalo, diaspora, when you're trying to send body. Mlishika Zambia kwati kudukusereche chitabomfira abantu. I've been a UPND member for many years. And my friend too, ndamone mini from social media platforms. When you look at in a few how did we reach to that stage? By HH very pompous. Bantuka executive Moika Bomika. Bantunga Balebe firm advisors win rather by HH. Kuloma Bishop over Edgar Chin. Hello. If you are bored, if you're saying a boarding a Addison or Zambia. Family.
But when Kushika, our queen.
Yeah, because it's like because the president vended Tamuan Temo. Anyone feel to see I want to buy a party here, president by the Temoban. Double fish shock. Ku South Africa at injunction. You know, thing if chitike from
National Morning. Yeah.
National Morning Madiland. You know, a man of fair white. Evil.
It's evil.
Yes. Edgar. Is dead. And then we have a grave open in Zambia. But what the Mandana is Koku Zambia. Sure news no breaking news no. South Africa South Africa. I didn't know.